Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of THKD TV. I'm going to be doing an album review for you guys today, and it's been quite a while since I did an album review. I reviewed Summoning's new album, With Doom We Come, back at the beginning of the year, and that's actually the only album review I've done on this channel. Most of my videos have been album anniversaries for classic albums, or kind of rundowns of my trips to the record store, which I do way too much, just kind of showing off my purchases. So very excited to review a new release, and this is one that I've been anticipating for a long time, and it is Corrupting Influence by Internal Bleeding. And here is the CD version of Corrupting Influence by Internal Bleeding. This is out on Unique Leader Records, and let me tell you, getting a physical copy of this has been no small feat. It was supposed to come out quite a while ago, and there was a delay in the release. As my understanding from Unique Leader's Facebook page, rather, that one of their founders or owners had some kind of health scare, and it caused some delays with some of their releases. So I've been waiting to get this on CD for a long time. I kept checking with my local shop. They weren't getting it. Finally, it showed up on Amazon, so I purchased it immediately. I've been checking Amazon like crazy for this to come out, and it finally showed up this week. I've been listening to it on Spotify, but as you guys know, I'm a big fan of physical CDs. I want to support the bands any way I can. I know they probably don't get anything from streaming their album on Spotify, or at least from what I understand, the royalties that come from that are nothing. So I know they probably don't make much from album sales either, if anything at all, but still feels good to go out and buy the physical product. Hopefully, they appreciate the support, and certainly I'm really happy to have this in my collection. I have all their other albums, so very stoked to have this. But Internal Bleeding, as I'm sure you guys know, they're the OGs of slam or slamming death metal, whatever you want to call it, slamming brutal death metal. They started back in 1991 in Long Island, New York, so they have been around since the beginning of slam. They invented it. They are the godfathers of that style of death metal, and they put out several albums, but I honestly think that Corrupting Influence might be their best one yet. As a retooled lineup. The only original member is Chris Pervelis, the guitarist. Unfortunately, the other original member that had been with the band, Bill Tolley, passed away last year, April 20th, 2017, and it still is just, I can't believe, it seems like yesterday that this happened. I can't believe it's been over a year now since he passed away. He was a firefighter for 14 years. He was battling a fire in New York, and unfortunately he passed away in the process of that. I didn't know him, but from what I've read, what I knew of Internal Bleeding beforehand and what I've read about him since, he sounds like an amazing human being, and it's a huge blow to the death metal community, not just because he was an amazing drummer, but also because he was clearly an amazing person and a real life hero. As a volunteer firefighter, he helped with the September 11th rescue efforts back on 9/11, and he was a hero, a real life hero. What more can you say about it than that? He died a hero. He lived as one, and not only that, but he was a great musician and a pioneering musician. Helping to invent the style of death metal that Internal Bleeding has been playing since the beginning. So unfortunately, this album is not without, kind of bittersweet in that sense, but I think Internal Bleeding have done an excellent job of paying tribute to Bill Tolley with such a great album here. The new drummer, Kyle Eddy, does a great job. He had some huge shoes to fill, obviously, but he does a great job here. I also really like the new vocalist, Joe Marchese. I'm probably butchering his last name, but he does a fantastic job. The previous vocalist, Keith DeVito, who was on Imperium, no longer with the band, and you might know Keith DeVito from Catastrophic and Pyrexia. Anyway, Joe does a great job here. I love his vocals on this. They're quite varied. You can understand what he's saying, which is always a plus, because the lyrics on this are really good. In fact, one of the songs, the final song actually, Supreme Sacrifice, is a tribute to Bill Toley. And man, the lyrics on that song, I was sitting here with the booklet open, reading the lyrics, listening to that song. Those are some heavy lyrics, man. Those really, it's that song is dedicated to Bill Toley, and man, they do a great job with it musically and lyrically. And man, those lyrics, whew, those will get you right here in the heart, because man, they really do a great job of paying tribute to him. That's about all I can really say with that. But as far as the album itself goes, I think I said earlier that I think this one might be Internal Bleeding's best, and it's really good. The songwriting is excellent. The riffs are just heavy as all hell. The slams, not only are they heavy, skull crushing, but they're also creative. They keep you interested. You know, some bands just it's just all their songs are one long slam. They're just kind of going through the motions. But Internal Bleeding, man, their songwriting is so dynamic. It's like a game changer. I mean, it's been a game changer since day one, but it continues to sound fresh. You know, they haven't really changed what they do, but they keep finding new ways to present it that are so creative and so entertaining. You know, they've been around forever for a reason, put it that way. I mean, these guys are the OGs for a reason. Simple as that. In addition to that, it's probably the best sounding Internal Bleeding album. The band worked with Joe Sincata, again, I'm probably butchering his last name, who has done a ton of production and mixing work for bands like Cognitive, Dehumanized, Suffocation, and a band I really like that not a lot of people I think know about, a band called Heisenberg, that you should really check out. He did work for them as well. But anyway, going back to the album itself, it's really, you know, there's not a bad song on here. My favorites would have to be probably, oh gosh, Corrupting Influence, Focus, Surrounded from the Inside, and Final Justice also, and Supreme Sacrifice. And Final Justice, I want to point out, was actually, they released that as a single last year, shortly after Bill Toley died. And I'm not sure if if the version that's on the album is the one that he played drums on, or if Kyle Eddy played drums on this one. But either way, that's a really fantastic song also, and also a great tribute to Bill Toley as being the final song that he recorded with Internal Bleeding. Packaging on this thing is really cool. Just to kind of check this out, it's kind of hard. I'm sorry, there's a glare. But the booklet, I love this artwork. This is like total old school 90s death metal artwork. I just love that artwork. I think it's so cool. And then on the back, I've got the TV screen guys with the Internal Bleeding alien sigil, or whatever you want to call it. Inside you've got lyrics and credits, photo of the band, and then I thought this was really cool on one of the final pages, a dedication and encouragement to donate to the Fires and Drums Foundation in their quest to help military and first responder families. So I think that's really cool that they put that in there. You know, definitely a great tribute to Bill Toley. Then you've got the CD itself, kind of an up-close version of the cover art, and then back behind you've got the Internal Bleeding alien sigil there on the back. Very cool stuff. Really well done. It was totally worth the wait to finally get a physical copy of this. I love, I still love to be able to open up a CD and take out the booklet and check out the lyrics while I'm listening to the album and stuff like that. I've mostly been jamming this in the car so far, but I do need to really sit down with it and go through the lyrics, because what I've looked at of them so far, Focus is a great song lyric-wise. Again, Supreme Sacrifice is fucking amazing. Corrupting Influence, all these songs really are cool lyrics-wise, and, it's nice to see a band, and Internal Bleeding's always, I think, had some pretty interesting lyrics, but still, even now, it's still nice to see a band really taking time to craft some good lyrics in addition to the music. A lot of times I think it's a lot of times with death metal bands, it's music first and lyrics a very, very distant second, but I've really enjoyed what I've read so far of the lyrics on this. So really, that's all I can say about Internal Bleeding at this point. You guys need to go out and check this out. It is out in record stores and it is on Amazon, so there's no excuse not to go get this and support these guys. I know some of you hopefully picked it up on tour. Unfortunately, they did not come to Sacramento, so I didn't have that option, but I hope they do come to Sacramento one of these days so I can see them live, because I haven't seen them live since the Onward to Mecca tour. I saw them twice when they were touring behind that. I believe once was with 6 Feet Under, and another time they were headlining, and I think Bodies and the Gears of the Apparatus was the opener on that show, but I could be totally wrong. But I think that's who they played with. That was back in Des Moines, Iowa, at a place called Harry Mary's, which unfortunately is no longer. But anyway, enough of my rambling. Check out Internal Bleeding's new album. It is fucking awesome. You won't regret it. I'm going to put up some links in the description so you can go listen to it on Bandcamp. You can purchase physical copies, all that good stuff. I'm actually going to leave the comments open on this video. I want to know what you guys think of Internal Bleeding's new album. If you're a fan, I want to talk about it. Let's talk. I want you guys to reach out, hit me up, put a comment down, hit me up via email, social media, whatever. But until next time, again, Internal Bleeding, Corrupting Influence. Get on it. You won't regret it. Thanks for watching, guys.